Hey guys, welcome back to Ranked to Survival in Fieldcraft. I'm Andrew. What I have for you today is just a runner's kit or a ditch kit or a go kit. It's a small utility pouch, very lightweight, and all the items in here are designed to give us our basic survival priorities as fast as humanly possible. So we're not going to have a lot to this kit, but everything in here is going to give us those priorities very quickly. So fire, water, food, shelter, land navigation, medical aid, and signaling. All of those things as quickly as humanly possible, because the point of this kit is to grab and ditch and go and run and to put as much time and space between us and our pursuers as humanly possible, because that's the number one best way to avoid capture. But this kit is meant for fast movers, for runners to get off the X, immediate actions, and then continue during that EPA or that evasion plan of action, make it to our recovery area, get picked up, and then reintegrated back into friendly forces. So let's take a look at this kit. So basic utility pouch, lightweight. We can hang this on the outside of our rucksack if we wanted to, off our belt, or we could put it inside the assault bag and just grab it if we had to run and go. So also with this kit is that we're not trying to supplement a lot of things. We're trying to add on to a basic kit that we may already have with us. And so things that we're going to have with us, really, we're always going to have some paracord in our pocket, our belt knife, presumably, maybe some sort of utility knife, if not the belt knife, or maybe, depending on the situation and the environment, we may have a large cutting tool with us that's on our belt already that we can grab and go, as well as maybe a compass, a good compass, landsat compass that we can use for land navigation. Maybe our map is already attached. We have our fighting vest, our plate carrier, or our flick on us already. Maybe a sharpening stone, as well as maybe a multi-tool. And so we have a lot of stuff with us already. We're going to assume that our pockets have some basic items in them. Remember, always have a knife, way to start fire, and a snack in your pocket. So with that assumption, this kit is meant to add on to those items, but then to give us our priorities fast. So let's take a look. So no particular order. Up top, we've got just another flashlight, a small button light, red lens, so we can use it at nighttime. And then it's even got a strobe on it, so we can use it for signaling. With a red lens flashlight, even green and blue, that light is going to dissipate or die out a lot sooner over shorter distance compared to a white light. That white light's going to travel forever and ever, but a red lens is not going to travel as far just because of the waves of the light. We want red lens at nighttime so we can actually use a light, but that light can't be seen until you get right up on it or get close enough. So a red lens flashlight, small button light. Remember, we're moving fast. Just a whistle, auditory signal. This is if we get close to friendly lines, we can actually use this whistle to signal friendly forces, or if it's a non-permissive environment, we can use the auditory signal. This is going to go a lot further through the woods than our voice. It's going to last a lot longer than our voice would if we're just trying to scream through the woods. So whistle for signaling. We've got a small scout ferrule rod. This ferrule rod shoots sparks. As you can see, this thing's waterproof. It's fast and efficient, thousands and thousands of strikes. We don't want a lighter that's going to break or matches that are going to get wet. Along with this, we're going to bring man-made tinder. That way we can get a fire going quickly. But we're only going to do this if we get food to cook, or if we absolutely have to warm ourselves, or we find some sort of container and we can boil water, or we're going to set up a signal fire. So we're going to have a very small fire kit. This is it right here. All right, next we have just a compass. Now, like I said, we're probably going to have a basic land navigation kit on us if we have our flick or our plate carrier or load-bearing equipment, meaning that we're going to have that lensatic compass, we're going to have a protractor, pen and paper, and our map. But if we don't, we have this, and we probably should memorize or at least commit to memory some portions of the area we're going to be working in. We have this compass so we can shoot directions and actually land navigate precisely. We have that spare compass just in case this one falls off, or if we need to use both to confirm because we're in thick foliage, whatever it is, we have compasses for land navigation. So if we're without everything and all we have is our basic pocket kit, we have a compass to land navigate precisely. Next is camouflage. One of the first steps in immediate action is applying camouflage to help blend into that environment. So we have face paint right here, light color, dark color. So we can put these over the features of our face, even our hands and arms, back of our neck, behind our ears, everywhere. Camo up or veg up to begin to conceal into the terrain, blend in, and help to avoid detection. Next, a aviator's panel. This is lightweight silk. This is a panel that's about the same size as a shamag that we can use to signal rescue, so it's a good signal. We can take this, it's very small and thin as you see, we can place it in our pocket, redistribute all the items in this kit, and then carry it on our person, pull this out, signal for rescue, and then pack it away so the enemy doesn't see it very quickly. It's a very lightweight, portable signal to have in the kit. Next, we've got just a fish kit. In here we've got a basic setup already, sinker hook bobber on the line on a small keeper. And then we have a couple other lines in here, lighter gauge or lighter line, about 8 or 10 pound tensile strength, then 15 pound tensile strength. We have a couple of extra flies, lures, and then some just basic terminal tackle in there, more sinkers and swivels, hooks, kept on those safety pins, a very small kit. Fishing is the most likely way we're going to take food out in the wild with this kit because we're going to be moving from water source to water source, and I'll explain here in a minute. We're going to use this fish kit to potentially fish at the water's edge or even cast a night line or a trot line in the water, subsurface, and then leave it, come back later and collect the fish, move back to the hide site, cook them up with our small fire kit, and then have a meal. So fish is going to be the primary food source that we're going to go after. Besides wild edibles or foraging or going after plants, they're going to be growing along the way that we can possibly eat safely. Fishing is going to be fast, efficient, especially if we have bait on here. We use the lures. We could take fish very quickly, throw it in our cargo pocket, and then move back to our hide site, pack this up, and then continue moving. We can take that fish with us over time and actually cook it, and then bury everything, including the fire, and then move out from there. Rather than leaving traps out or trying to hunt or do anything passively, we can just fish because it's going to be quicker than leaving traps out. We would have to create a lot of traps to potentially get game, and then actively hunting would waste our time and leave an area where we're walking around. We'd beat trail down, people would notice we were there. Going to the water's edge very quickly to fish, gather that fish, and then come back is the most efficient and fastest way to actually get some nutrients, in my opinion. So we're gonna have a basic fish kit to take with us. Then next, another thing is just a small signaling mirror. We can use this mirror, obviously, for signaling as well as hygiene. We can look at our handsome face and pick anything out of our eyes. Plus we can use this to look where we can't see with our eyes directly, just in case we have ticks or anything like that. But the mirror is going to be a primary signaling device, and this can be seen from a long ways off with full sunlight. And we can use this to signal search and rescue and guide them into our position. You'll notice there are a lot of signaling devices because we're moving. We want to move as quickly as we can to friendly areas. So we're going to use all of these signaling devices to get attention as quickly as possible. So we're moving as fast as possible toward friendly lines, but we're also signaling as quickly as possible with these basic items to get the attention of friendly forces or search and rescue so we can get picked up that much faster. It's all about running. Just because we are running, highly encourage a good protein or calorie bar. This calorie bar is about 400 calories, as you can see right there. Eat this on the fly, keep the trash, shove it in our pocket or back in the pouch so we don't drop anything, but we have those calories so we can actually continue moving and have a little bit of that nutrients and caloric intake to maintain energy levels, to maintain thought processes, cognitive processes, so we make good decisions. And this is lightweight, easy, portable, a lot of calories like it shows. We can eat this and continue movement. Next, shelter. We have just a camo Mylar space blanket. All we're gonna do with this, or all I would do, is just take this, wrap up in it, and try to get some sleep if we have to stop and rest for whatever reason, or if we become injured, or we're too tired, we haven't had enough food in a while, no fish, the calorie bar is gone. We can use this to wrap up in, get a little bit of sleep, a little bit of rest, and then continue along our EPA. Camouflage, so we can get down to the low-lying areas, get under some brush, and then help conceal ourselves with this on top of our face paint that we should be reapplying every now and then. But we've got this for our shelter. Again, just a blanket to wrap up in, pack it up, fold it back in, shove it back in the pouch. We also have a small commando saw. This is to take down material in the event we have to improvise or we need larger material for fire. For firecraft, we have our basic kit, man-made tinder and a ferro rod. But if we have to gather material, we can use this small wire saw to actually process that or break it down or pull it off a tree or cut it very low to the ground and then put dirt on the stump that we just cut, and then put a few leaves and some debris over top to help conceal that. It'll probably be found. A dog may come by and actually hit on that, or the tracker, if they're paying attention, will come and find that anyway. But we can use this to still take down that material, build up a fire if we need to, and process it a lot easier than we would with just our bare hands. And it makes a lot less noise than our giant knife here. And when used properly, it's a lot more efficient and helps save calories as well, which is why we include it. Plus it's really small, so we can put it in the kit, and it's lightweight, so we can keep moving with it. And lastly, probably the most important item besides the pouch and holding the contents, we're gonna have just a small filter. This is just a small filter straw. We've got the filter right here, that dark column, and then there's an actual straw in here that sits right on top. But this thing is what we're gonna use to get water. So we're gonna move from water source to water source, which is why we need to understand the area and kind of have a few of those landmarks committed to memory, or have the general direction and distance kind of understood in that area. And then we're not going to boil water, and so we're gonna have to drink from our filter because we don't have a metal container, which is why our fire kit is very small, but also why we carry a little bit more robust fishing kit, because we move from water source to water source. So have a fish kit while we're there drinking water and rehydrating. We can throw the line out really quick, hydrate, hold onto the line or stake it off to the shore, and continue to hydrate from a covered or concealed position. Wait to catch a fish in that line, and so we're doing two things at the same time. Reel in that fish, put it out of its misery really quick, shove it in the pocket, and pick up and move out to a hide site. Start a fire, cook that fish, stay hydrated, and then move to that next water source or continue down our EPA with this in hand, so we can actually drink water and not make ourselves sick at the same time. All right, guys, so a down and dirty video today, a runner's kit, a ditch kit, a go kit. You can see the methodology behind this kit. We're all about moving and getting out of the area as fast as possible, making our way back to friendly forces, back to front lines, back to areas where we can get recovered as quickly as possible while still providing for our most basic needs. It's not gonna be the funnest thing in the world. Plus, if we have this kit, we get to our recovery area, get the call from our handler that we've got to go somewhere else. We still have this kit with us. We've put it through a couple of trials with that initial evasion, and now if we have to get turned around and go somewhere else to a secondary recovery area, we've still got this kit with us to provide for our most basic needs. So I hope you like this video. If you did like this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment in the comment section. I always appreciate your feedback. I want to thank you guys for everything you do for me, for this channel, for your likes, your views, your subscriptions, your comments, your feedback, and your shares, and I'll be back with another video as soon as I can, guys. Thanks.